Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this video, I'm going to tell you my experience visiting Medina for the very first time. And this was a very special experience because it was 3 months after I became a Muslim. And I also got to break my first ever fast during my first ever Ramadan with a Medina date in the Holy Prophet's Mosque. Alhamdulillah, I hope that you enjoy this story. So I got to Medina during my first time performing Umrah. I've already posted that video, so you can watch it for the full Umrah story. For this video, I'm going to specifically tell you about my experience in Medina. So when I'm in Medina, I was walking to the Prophet's Mosque. And you know how they've got the canopies and they've got the minarets? There's this amazing thing, subhanAllah. Once you walk under the first canopy, it's like all of a sudden, silence. The rest of the world goes quiet. When you are in Medina, you are not worried about your business. You're not worried about your job. You're not worried about your bank account. You're not worried about anything. There's a level of tranquility, especially once you've entered the mosque. Like once you're there and you're in the canopies and everybody else there is only there for one reason, and it's acts of worship. It is the most beautiful thing ever. I was sitting by myself in the Prophet's Mosque and I'd look around and I'd go, this is the most beautiful thing ever. And yet none of us here are here for the beauty. None of us here are here to look at these minarets or to look at the design on the carpet. No, we're all here to worship Allah. And it creates this feeling that you can't describe because you know nobody's there for clout because they want to look cool. Nobody's there because they're trying to virtue signal to someone else. Everybody is there to worship the Almighty Creator. And what this allowed me as my first experience is it gives me so much time to reflect. I had so much time in Medina sitting out under the canopy, just looking up and thinking, what does Allah want me to do? What is my purpose? How can I help people? When I leave Medina, what am I going to change in my life? What new habits am I going to have? And this level of quiet in the mind is what gave me time to think. Because in our lives that we have right now, we're so caught up in thinking, we're so caught up in worldly issues that quite frankly just don't matter. As much as you think the struggle you're facing right now matters, it doesn't. And one of the beautiful things about being somewhere like Medina is it gives you time to think about it. It gives me time to realize at the end of the day, how much money I have in my bank account doesn't determine how valuable I am. At the end of the day, the relationships I have with my family is important. My deen is important. My health is important. And that time to sit and think, we need that. We need that time to think. That's why I would encourage anybody, dedicate, an hour a week at a bare minimum to sit in quiet. Sit in quiet. Sit with you, Allah, and the angels, and nobody else. And I got to do that in Medina. And you have to understand, I was a new Muslim. I only recently reverted to Islam. So I didn't know much. But what I got to do is I got to read some books. I was given some books, the basic 5 pillars of Islam, understanding how to pray, sunnahs of the Prophet. And I would be sitting in the mosque and I'd get to read these books and I'd get to learn and I'd get to find out new things without any distractions. It's so much easier to learn when there's no distractions. It's amazing. So let me tell you about Ramadan, breaking my fast. So my first day of Ramadan, 2023, sitting in the Prophet's Mosque. Hadn't had food, hadn't had water. I was fasting for the first time. I'll make a video specifically on the fasting, but it was amazing. It was great. It was great. When you stay away from worldly things, just like food and water, you get perspective as in, wow, I am thirsty. Wow, I am hungry. Wow, I want food. But when we have food and we have water all the time, when do we consciously think, wow, I'm so grateful. Alhamdulillah, I have food and alhamdulillah, I have water. When was the last time you looked at your meal and said, alhamdulillah, I am so grateful for this meal? So I got a lot of perspective when I was sitting there. I was hungry and I was thinking, I think I've taken every bite of food I've had for granted. I think I've taken every sip of water I've had for granted. And I waited and we prayed and time to break fast came around. Now in Medina, there's thousands of people in the Prophet's Mosque. I don't understand how they all fit in there. Thousands, tens of thousands. I don't know how many people are in there. It seems like there's like 50,000 people or more. They bring around these packets that have like milk and yogurt and dates and bread and some tea, and they roll out these plastic sheets all over the entire mosque. And you sit there side by side with people who are different ethnicities, who are in different walks of life, who don't even speak the same language as you, and you break your fast with them like they're your brothers because they are your brothers in Islam. I love that. You can't go anywhere in America and go hang out with some random people and all of a sudden become best friends. You can't do that anywhere except Islam. And when you're somewhere so holy, so peaceful like Medina, it's something you can't describe. Like this person I have not met, I have not talked to, and I'm breaking my fast with them. And because of one thing that we both believe in Allah and we worship Allah, we've now become brothers because of that. That one thing bonds us so much more than anything else because we worship Allah. So I got to really enjoy breaking my fast with these people because I knew I would never see them again. I knew this was the only time I'll ever see them in this life. And we got to talk to each other and share stories and share lessons and share experiences like we'd been best friends forever. And we got to do it over Medina dates, breaking my first fast. Now I will tell you, after fasting for the very first time and eating a Medina date, tastes like you are eating if gold was turned into food. It's the beauty, right? We're starving all day when we're fasting, and then we get that bite. And it's so good and we enjoy it so much. But then we're full. And after a full day of only thinking about, I wish I had food, 15 minutes goes by and we're no longer thinking about it. It's a great, subhanAllah, it's a great reminder of how temporary worldly things are. It's such a good reminder, right? Like, oh, if I chase this high, it's gonna be great, and then the high's over. Oh, if I chase this status, if I chase this money, if I chase this connection, it's gonna be great, but then it's over. And the reality is, in a blink of an eye, we're all going to be at Judgment Day in front of our Creator with nothing that we had in this life. At the end of the day, we are all going to have to testify to Allah for every single thing that we did. And it's a beautiful reminder. Now, after breaking my fast with, just basic food, we then went and got proper meal, me and the friends that I was performing Umrah with. I got some pizza, like the white American I am. Of course I did. And I remember eating this pizza, and I would look and I would watch families walking by out of the Prophet's mosque, back into the Prophet's mosque, and I watched them for about 2 hours. And you know what I thought when I saw them? I thought, they all have intricate lives. They all have so many things going on, and we think the world revolves around us. I wouldn't say naive, but I was younger than I was. I'm still very young, but I was younger than I was back then. And I thought everything I did was so important. Me. And in Medina, when I got to see so many people going back and forth, and I got the perspective of how many lives they live, how many problems they might face, how many challenges that other people go through, that what I'm facing doesn't matter. The struggles that I'm going through aren't that big. The goals that I have set aren't that important. You know how many other people are living? You know how many other people have goals? When was the last time walking down the street, you thought, I'm curious what that person wants to achieve in life? When was the last time you asked your friends with 100% sincerity and a true intention in your heart, what do you want? What are your goals? Who do you want to become? We ask ourselves these. We set our own goals. We say who we want to become. We set these grand plans of achieving huge things. When did you ask your closest loved ones what they want? When did you ask them, how can I help you? When was the last time you were selfless and decided to spend an entire day doing something for someone else and not for yourself? And when I saw these people go by, I realized how the world doesn't revolve around me. The world doesn't revolve around them. It doesn't revolve around the other person. But we are all equal in the eyes of God. And nothing, absolutely nothing that you have right now makes you better than anyone. Not your BMW, not your phone, not your watch, not your relationship. Absolutely none of that makes you better than anybody. None of it. And I don't think if I ever went to Medina and got these multiple days where I didn't have my phone, I didn't talk to the outer world at all, it was just me and my friends and being super present, I don't know if I ever would have been able to realize this stuff, if I ever would have been able to realize what's actually important in life. In our Ummah today, we chase worldly success, and I say that like it's not me. No, I do. I'm not better than anybody. But I've been very grateful, alhamdulillah, to get perspective on what truly is important. To me, that's family, that's helping people, that's relationships, that's legacy. Those are the things that are important to me. I wouldn't have been able to experience that in Medina. Alhamdulillah. I hope you enjoyed that. That was what it was like for me to be in Medina, and I hope you got some lessons from that. If you want to hear more stories about the things that I've done or what it was like when I first came into Islam, drop in the comments what kind of videos you'd want me to make, and inshallah I'll make a video. May Allah bless you. You got this. I have faith in you.